Hey folks, welcome back to Max and Dave Horsemanship and Baby Steps. And yeah, I don't have the baby here just yet. I'm going to go get her in a minute. Her and a bunch of others are all laying down taking a nap right now. So, what the heck, we're not going to bother them just at the moment. But I'm going to tell you a story. Story time. Yep. A number of years back, I was in a group, and it was hosted by a predominant horseman. And just a little backstory on this guy. He's a very good clinician. Travels the world, literally, doing clinics and demos and that sort of thing. He's judged events. He's a fairly accomplished rider as well. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Well, you won't know who it is anyhow, but I believe he was even a bronc rider at one time, and that he competes in reining competitions. Yeah, he's got some skills. And he's also a very good horseman, and he knows what he's doing. And well, okay, so that's a little bit about him. Fairly respectable horseman with some skills. He knows how to ride, and he knows how to stick a horse. In his group, which I was in, like I said, this goes back a few years, and he posted a video of a girl doing first ride on her horse, which, well, it got a number of views, because that's kind of his thing, is, getting people started and that sort of thing. And he thought it was a big deal, so he put this video up himself, and it got a number of views. But not long after that, he posted another video of himself at a clinic that he was doing, where he'd gotten on a client horse that promptly unseated him. Now, I watched that video a number of times, and the horse knew exactly what it was doing, and it did this neat little move where, yeah, I don't care how good you are, you ain't going to stay on. And just to make matters worse, it was on an English saddle, which is a little less secure than a Western saddle. Yeah, he didn't have to stand much of a chance. And that video got a lot of views. It got, like, way more, well, twice, maybe 3 times, I don't remember now, than this video of the young girl that just started her horse and did a first ride. And he was a little frustrated by that. He thought, why do people like watching me come off my horse? Well, it wasn't his, it was a client's horse, but why do people like watching him come off a horse more than somebody having a success? Well, here's the deal, and I don't think he realized at the time the importance of what was going on there, is the girl doing the first ride, that was kind of to be expected. She did her groundwork properly and everything, and so it was pretty much a non-event. I mean, it was good. I'm not dissing it at all. It was a good thing she did this. But him coming off the horse, though, that was another story altogether. And like I said, this is an accomplished guy, a very good horseman and a good rider, and yet he came off the horse. And I think one of the reasons, now I'm just speculating a little, but I think one of the reasons that video was so darn popular, aside from the fact there's lots of sickos out there that watch, they just like seeing people fail. But I think what it was also, well, to me anyhow, the value in that video was to show people that no matter how good you are, you can have a bad day, things can go wrong. So the whole point of telling you this story in reference to training a young horse, or training any horse for that matter, is when you think things aren't going well for you and you're having a bad day, and maybe you come off your horse. I don't know if you're at that stage, but when things go wrong, it doesn't matter how good you are, things can still go wrong. And I watched quite a few videos of that particular individual in his training videos and that, and more than once he would say, oops, I missed my opportunity there, I could have done something there, or oops, I dropped the line, or all these things that happened to the best of the best. Well, okay, he's not the best, but he's one of the best. He's real good. And the fact that it can happen to somebody like that, if it happens to you, it's like, hey, come on, don't beat yourself up for it. Because a lot of people do when they struggle with things, and things don't go as planned, and they're struggling. You know, they get real frustrated, they beat themselves up. Well, don't be doing that, because those kind of things can happen to even the best. So if you have a bad day, well, don't beat yourself up over it, because even the best have a bad day. And I'm not near as good as he is, and I have lots of bad days. You just don't get to see them that often. But I still like to show you the mistakes I make as much as possible, because of the fact that it demonstrates reality. It's like things don't always go perfect, no matter how good you are, and I do have a little bit of experience. I'm not as good as some. There's definitely people out there that are better than me, but I have bad days. Things go wrong. Things don't go as planned, you know. And yeah, I've come off horses too, by the way. That's no big deal. I'm not that great of a rider. I'm not as accomplished as some, but yeah, anyhow, that's the moral of the story. Is it doesn't matter how good you are. You can have a bad day. Things can go wrong. And so don't feel bad. Don't beat yourself up about it. It's just life. It's just the way things are. Anyhow, oh, I see a couple of the horses have decided they're not going to have a nap anymore. Oh, all three of them there. So I guess it's time to go get one and do some work with her. I'm not going to bore you. It'll be another short video today. I'm going to maybe pack it together with another one tomorrow or something, because I don't have anything new to show you today. I'm just going to do like I've said before. I'm going to just keep repeating all the things that we've done before, flexing her, sending her off in various directions, side passing away and towards me, you name it, we're going to be doing it. You know, nothing new. The only thing that's going to be sort of new is I'm going to do her back feet today, tomorrow. Yeah, I think tomorrow maybe. I don't feel like, because it's kind of muddy. It's been thawing here. It's well into March now, just to put things in perspective. You still see a little bit of snow in the background, but those were pretty big piles at one time. And so just to put things in perspective, it's now well into March, and it's actually not bad out today. The sun's pretty warm, and the temperatures aren't that bad, although there's a bit of a breeze. So yeah, I'm still wearing my coat, because in spite of the fact that it's not a bad day, it'd be chilly if the wind gets to you. So anyhow, I'm gonna put this video together with tomorrow's video, and maybe I'll come up with enough to entertain you for a little bit. But in the meantime, I'm going to go grab this horse and just repeat all the things that we've been doing over and over. Like I said, you can't do this stuff too much. None of it, absolutely none of it can be done too much. And you know, none of the things that you're teaching your horse are going to be a single event. They're going to be things that you're going to do many times over in order to get them really good. And no matter how good they get, they can still get better. So keep that in mind. If you think I'm not giving you much to chew on here, I'm just demonstrating, if nothing else, how often we have to repeat things, and how often that we're going to do the same things over and over. And if you watch that, you'd get bored silly. So we're not going to do that. But we do spend an awful lot of time off camera with the horse these days, but none of it's new stuff. It's all stuff we've done before, and we're just going to keep doing the same things over and over until they get super good, because that's what you got to do. Catch up with you tomorrow. Well, yeah, well, it'll be the same day for you. Tomorrow for me. See you in a bit. Welcome again. It's the next day. And I actually do have something new to show you. And we're going to do that today. And I'm going to explain what it is and some of the benefits of it and what we're doing. And well, like I said, there's always reasons why I do things, right? Right. Okay. In a recent video, I don't remember exactly which one it was, but I put in a clip of another horse that I'd done some training on. It was one of my own. And you saw him walk up to the mounting block and stop there for me and let me get on. Well, I'm about to show you how we did that. That's what we're going to do today. And there's benefits to this, because standing up on a mounting block elevates you, and it puts you in a slightly different position. And again, everything we're doing is leading up to riding, right? So even if you don't mount with a mounting block, this stuff is useful, because, well, the horse will still stand in front of you nicely while you're getting on. Makes life a lot easier if you're not hopping around on one leg trying to get on the horse before it takes off on you. Yes, and we have had that happen before. Not bad for me, but I've seen it as a chronic problem for other people, but that's neither here nor there at the moment. The other thing is, like I said, elevation. And being up higher than the horse, it gets the horse used to accepting cues from you in a different place, because sometimes, depending on the horse, just having you in a different position is a bit of a concern to it. So we're actually dealing with multiple things here at one time. So, the initial stages of this might take a while. And of course, you're still going to have to repeat it quite a few times before it gets any darn good. But you may be repeating it quite a few times before it gets any good at all or even works. It's just one of those things. But it's not horribly complicated or difficult. And I'm going to show you in a minute. Real life demonstration. I've never done this with this horse before, and clearly she's far too young to be ridden, so we're not going to really need to be doing that for the mounting process, but we are going to get her used to doing this just because it's one of those things that eventually it's going to be helpful. Now, there isn't an actual mounting block around here, and well, that may be your case as well. You might not have an actual mounting block, but there's lots of things you can use, pretty much anything that elevates you. You could use a trailer fender, a tailgate of your pickup truck, a stack of pallets, whatever's handy. In this case today, we're going to use this thing behind me here. It's actually a toolbox out of the back of a pickup truck. It's one of those plastic ones. And it's sturdy enough to stand on. It's big enough. It's a nice sized platform for me to stand on. So I'm thinking this thing's going to actually work pretty good for me for what I want it to do. So just bear with me, and we'll get the little horse out here and show you how to do this. Well, at least how to start doing it. Because like I said, you're going to do it quite a few times before it gets any darn good. And, quite a few more. Okay. You're going to do it quite a few times before it even works. And then you're going to do it quite a few more times after that before it gets any good. And quite a few after that before it gets acceptable. At least that's been my experience, but it has always worked, and there's a couple of different ways of doing it. I've seen other guys do it slightly different than I do, but the general principle is still the same, is when the horse stands where you want it, you make it a good place. You make it enjoyable. You rub on it, you tell it it's a good horse, just let it hang out for a little while. Don't make it move off immediately when you get it there. That's one of those things you want to do is, anything that you want from the horse, you want to make it a good thing, a pleasant thing, a positive thing. You know what I mean? And so that's exactly what we're going to do today. When she moves up here and stops and stands where we want her, it's going to be a positive thing. If she moves out, well, then she's going to have to move some more because we're going to keep relocating her. And you'll get to see how we do that. Pretty simple. And, well, of course, this isn't something you're going to do right off the bat. First, you're going to have to be able to send your horse and have it maneuverable in all the different ways that are necessary. And, like I say, one thing after another. There is a, it's not an exact order to how you do things, but there is a general order, and it kind of makes sense when you start getting further down the line. You realize that, like I said, having the horse maneuverable, this is handy. This is really handy. And in some cases, the side pass towards you can even be used in this one too. If the horse is just a little too far out and you want it in a little closer, just have it side pass towards you. And, well, unfortunately, in the early stages, they don't understand real well, and they might move in too far and actually knock you right off the mounting block. Oh, well, we've had it happen. But anyhow, we won't worry about that right now. We're just going to worry about the initial getting the horse to stand there, because that's the part you need to see. And that's the part I think you want to see, I hope. And we're going to try and show you. So just hang on a minute. I'm going to go get a horse, and we'll get back here and show you what we're doing. All right, so we've got our little horse here. And, well, because I just got her, haven't done a thing with her yet today, something you will find occasionally is sometimes they just aren't real responsive. And if you haven't done anything with them, haven't asked anything of them, and basically we really haven't done much other than putting a halter on her. That's all we've done. But as odd as it sounds, actually we have done a couple things, because she kind of turned her head away a little again when I went to put the halter on. So I did the same thing I've done in the past. It's just hold it up, follow her around, and when she turns back to center where she's supposed to be, I just take it away. Simple as that. So that was actually one thing we did. We actually worked on putting a halter on her. We encouraged her to do that. I didn't ask you to get that close. Thank you, dear. And the other thing we did is going through the gate, I sent her. I sent her through the gate. So we actually have already done a couple things, but not much. Not much at all. So I suspect the first couple times I asked her to move here, it's probably not going to work real well. But I'm going to get started here, and you get to see how it goes. I don't know. Hopefully it's going to work out okay. And as I say, she's a long ways off from being ridden yet. At least I sure hope so, anyhow. So this stuff isn't necessarily, it's not super critical, like whatever. It doesn't really have to be done that bad right now. But it's just one more thing we can do, and one more thing that you will eventually have to do, because before you ride a horse, this is something that you want to be able to do. And it's something that the way I do things, I teach it to the horse before I ever ride it. That way, when it comes time to get on the horse, it's not an issue. It's no problem at all. In fact, pretty much everything the horse needs to know to be ridden, I teach it before I ride it. I know that doesn't sound like it makes sense to some of you, but honestly, there's hardly anything that has to be taught from the saddle. There are things that can be, but most things, not all, I'm sure there's a few things that work better from the saddle, but pretty much everything that the horse really truly needs to know for basic riding can be taught on the ground. And it's a lot easier and much safer, and it's less stressful for the horse. So I take it a little bit further. A lot of guys do some pretty extensive groundwork, and that's great. It's nice that they do that, and that aids to their success. But I like to take it a step further, and I get a little carried away maybe, I don't know, but we teach an awful lot on the ground, so that when it comes time to ride the horse already knows how to be ridden, it just hasn't been ridden yet. That's the way I like to do things. So anyhow, back over to the block here, and we're going to see what happens, because ultimately what we want is we want the horse to stand beside the block while we get on. Well, okay, like I said, long time before she's going to be ridden, but you already just saw a reaction from her. And I was talking about this before, is how in an elevated position, the horse might get a little concerned, and you saw her head pop up as soon as I stepped up on this thing. Because all of a sudden, hey, that's weird. You're not where you usually are. You're up higher. Yeah, that's true. That's weird. But we're going to do the same thing anyhow. And this is how it works. And we're going to ask her to move over that way. And then we're going to ask her to move back this way and come up in front of the mounting block. And a couple steps at a time. That's a good girl. And now she's moving out. See that? She's moving out. That's pretty normal. Well, guess what? She gets to go back over that way again. So there's nothing in it for her to do that. And that's, one of the principles is that when you ask a horse to do something, the wrong thing has no benefit to it. The right thing has benefit to it. Oh, and she kept on going, so now she goes back again. And we might have to do this quite a few times before it actually works. This is not something that works instantly. Sometimes it works pretty quick, all depends on the horse and how much it's been ridden before, and how much you've used the mounting block. So, oh, easy there, girl. Oh, come on, move in. No, you're swinging out again. Okay. So, well, this might take a while. Not the first time I've done this, and sometimes it does take a while. In fact, it usually takes a while. You might have to repeat this process several times. But it's one of those things. And I'm just going to ease her head one step at a time, and because I don't want her just crashing into the thing and stuff like that. I'll get her all freaked out. There we go. That's better. No, I didn't ask you to back up. And Already she's starting to swing out, so when she does and does not stop where I want her to, I just send her back. Now, we might have to do this quite a few times. I hope you're patient in watching this. But this is exactly how you're going to do it. And it's not a real complicated thing. It's something that's actually fairly simple. And once you get her down, it actually is pretty good. Works good. It's one of those things that you'll be very glad you taught the horse. Again, swinging out. Okay. See, now she's learning, and believe it or not, things are happening here. She's learning that every time that back end moves out, she has to go around. We turn her around, and yeah, she's going to do it again. I can already tell she's moving out from the block. Yep, there we go. Okay, as soon as you do that, back you go. And she'll start figuring it out eventually, but that's where you got to be on the ball and, correct quickly. As soon as she moves out, that's a little too close. There we go. Good girl. And you just got to be patient. Move her head slowly. Now watching. Oh. Back end already moved out. That's not what we want. Oh, she's thinking about it now. There was a little chewing going on there. Now back end's moving out. We want her to come straight in, or at least be that straight when she gets here. And she's a little concerned about this whole thing because she doesn't like me being up this high, and she doesn't like the mounting block either, or what we're using as a mounting block. This whole thing's new to her, and there's, like I said, you got to be aware of the fact there's more than one new thing happening here at a time. She's not used to me being up this high either, as well as we're teaching her something. So there's kind of a couple things going on at once here. So, and that's probably one of the reasons that you might have to do this quite a bit before it works. And now she's even getting resistant. She's decided that moving ahead's a bad thing, because every time she moves ahead, not realizing it connects to the back end moving out is, no, I didn't ask for that. There we go. Get her straightened out again. Now you try and do this in a fashion that helps the horse a little bit. Like when you bring it in, start off with it straight so it's got a chance of getting it right. All it has to do is go straight forward. And she's being reluctant to do that. Oh, back end's moving out already. Yeah, that's no good. Oh, back she goes. And over a little more. There we go. Good girl. Good girl. Now just come straight forward in front of me. Like I said, this is one of those things that it's not complicated. I'm talking to you while I'm doing it. She's getting a little concerned about this. But, so it's not a complicated thing, but it might take a while. And now she's blocking. She's locked up. Come on. And we're going to put a little pressure on the halter and just rock her head a bit. You can see I'm in bare hands today. It's fairly nice out, so we don't need the temperature protection, and you never need to hold on tight enough that you actually need gloves. So it's one of those things that, yes, you see me wear gloves a lot because I'm a wuss when it comes to temperature, but you don't need to be that forceful that you need to wear gloves. If you need gloves, you're doing something wrong. Okay. Gloves are handy. Well, I've got nothing against people wearing gloves. You want to, especially out on the farm. Splinters of wood on rails and things like that. Gloves are handy for that. Keep you protected. And I do have a pair in my coat pocket, which I took my coat off because it's nice out today. Oh my goodness, you are being difficult. Well, this is a new one. I haven't had this problem before. Now this is a technique that I've seen other guys use, and I've never had this problem before, so I haven't had to do this, but apparently rocking them. There. We got a foot. 1 foot. Wasn't much, but it was a foot. But this is a whole new situation. She figures out if she comes forward that she ends up having to do something, so she's not going to come forward. No. Good girl. There you go. And she just pulled her foot back, so I'm just going to ask her to go forward again and let go. Every time she takes a step forward, she gets rewarded, so that she's learning one step forward is the right thing. And the backhand hasn't started swinging out yet. And there we go. Okay, now she's pretty darn straight. Let's see if we can just get her to go. Oh no, backhand swinging out already. Well, yeah, no, that's not what I want, dear. Sorry. You're gonna have to go back over there. Start over. Start over. You were doing good there. There we go. That's better. It's just closer to straight. There we go. Good girl. There we go. Good girl. This is where I said, I actually do positive reinforcement. I just don't do the click and treats and all that stuff, but I always tell her she's a good girl, rub on her, and this particular horse happens to really like being scratched because she's got lots of itchy spots, so I use that to my advantage and I scratch her. Most horses, I just rub them until they're good. But I'm already seeing that back end out further than it should be, so I don't think this is going to work, but let's see. Well, it's not going, oh, now it's going further. Okay. Well, darn. There we go. You're going to have to repeat this quite a few times. I told you that before we even started. It may take a long time before it even works, much less works good. But once it does, it's, oh, again, backhand moved out. Now, she's got to learn that the backhand moving out is what makes this happen. And, come on, dear. Oh, now she's stuck again. She doesn't want to move forward because there's repercussions. Well, guess what? Not moving forward has repercussions. And that's where we start rocking. Come on. I don't like doing this. I don't like doing anything that... Oh, she moved. Moved 1 foot, just sideways. It's okay. It's a general idea. There we go. She took a step forward. And take another step, dear. That's a good girl. There we go. Okay, she's unlocked now. And she's still straight. But this is where I got to keep an eye on that back end, because one of the tricks is, that's where the problem is. See, when she swings the back end out, she's got to learn she's got to come in straight. And she's still coming in straight. Oh, it moved over a hair. I don't like that. Oh, it's going over. Come on. Come on. And there goes the back end. Now back she goes. There we go. Well, we got her straight again. Let's try this again. I'm telling you, man, this is going to take a while. Oh, now she's being stubborn again. There we go. Good girl. This isn't a bad thing when she cooperates. Yeah, it's a good little horse. Yeah, see? Oh, don't do that. Please don't do that. There we go. Good girl. Good girl. She's getting there. As long as that back end doesn't swing out, we're in business here. Yeah, that's a good girl. There we go. We're making progress here. Not too late for that back end to swing out yet, though, because that's usually what happens is they get right up where you want them, and then that's when they swing out. At least that's been my experience. This thing's a little squishy. I'm going to spread my legs apart a little more, put my weight out towards the ends where there's more strength. Hey, I'm using what I got. I was a little concerned about this when I chose to use it, because, well, that's what was around. There we go. Good girl. There we go. Oh no, there goes that back end again. Okay. Straighten out a little more. Okay, and we start again. Because the back end swung out. And this is what you don't want. And that's the chronic problem with most horses. When you're trying to get on them, is they swing out from the mounting block and you end up on the ground in between the horse and the mounting block. It's not what you want. You want the horse to stay straight. So that's what we're trying to encourage here. And, you know, she's presenting a little bit different scenario here than I'm used to. She's actually getting quite reluctant to even move forward. Come in. Move ahead, sweetie. Good girl. No, that's not what you do. Come on. There we go. And back again. As I said, this is going to take a while. And this is just one of many scenarios that can happen. The other one is the horse won't stop in front of you, he'll just keep on going, in which case you do the same thing, just turn around, send it back over there and start over. And there's a lot of different things the horse can do wrong. Yeah, that's a good girl. Keep going. Come on. Now you see I'm just using 2 fingers on the lead. I am pulling. I'm putting pressure on until she takes a step. And as soon as she does, I'm going to release. Unfortunately, she's being stubborn again. And once the head gets past me, it's actually really hard to pull out that direction, but it's what we got to do. So this is the awkward part of this one, is once they get to this point, it's very hard to get them to move forward. And that's where, you know, the send is very important, because you want the horse to move forward when you ask it to. And in this case, she's freaked out by the whole thing. Come on. There we go. Come on. Oh, she's being real stubborn now. I might have to put a little pressure on. There we go. Already the backhand's starting to move out again. But she did take a step forward. And now she took another step forward. Good girl. Ah, this time she's not moving out. There's hope. There's hope. Might get this yet. And some guys don't do this as slow as I do. They'll just keep back and forth real quick until the horse gets it right. But I'm not in a hurry, and I've found that going slow works. It's basically exactly the same thing once the horse gets into a good place. Oh, there we go. One more foot. Good girl. That's a good girl. There we go. Very good. Very good. Getting there. It's almost where you want a horse for a mounting block, isn't it? Yeah, that's a good girl. Yeah, and she likes being scratched. So I'm making this a good place, so she wants to be here. Now take another step forward, please, dear. Come on. Come on. Come on. There you go. Good girl. Oh no, you took your foot back. There we go. One of the things, other than looking at the camera, I'm watching her feet. I try to look at the camera for your benefit, but I've got to keep track of the feet, what they're doing. See, she keeps pulling that foot back. Uh-oh, backhand's moving out again. And it moved so little. This is one of those things where, you know, I'm having a real hard time deciding what to do. Oh no, she pulled her foot back, so that's our priority right now. And, oh no, that definitely is swinging out now. Okay, gotta go back over there. Come on. we go. Start over. Almost had it there. But we are making progress. She was much straighter than she was previously. And well, she's not balking as much this time. Good girl. Yeah, that's a good girl. Move another foot. Yeah, I saw a back one move. We want a front one to move. We want that left front one to move. There we go. You see how I instantly took pressure off as soon as she moved a foot, so she understands that that's the thing to do. Now the same principle applies when you're leading or anything like that. One step in the right direction is still a step in the right direction. Even though you wanted 10, well, you got to start with 1. And in a case like this, she does know how to send, she does know how to do stuff. But the whole mounting block thing is a new thing. So I'm going to take 1 step. If she goes 1 step, and she kind of pulled that foot back a little, so we'll go that one. Yeah, there we go. I was a little quicker on that one. Every time she goes to take it back, I'm going to put pressure on again until she realizes, nope, backing up's not the thing to do. And you'll see, now she's standing there. She's not backing up. I'm going to see if I can get that other foot to move ahead now. This whole thing might take a while, but this is what you need to do. There we go. Good. That was a good little horse. Well, we aren't there yet, but we're making progress. She's halfway there. I mean, if I was actually using this for a mounting block, it's big enough and long enough. I could actually move back to where I need to be to get on her, but that's not how we want to do things. We want her to be where I need her. Now she pulled the foot back there too. There. Okay, good girl. That's a good girl. Now, I wouldn't usually pause this long in this place, but she's not swinging out. She's staying straight. So that's pretty good. Take a step forward, dear. Oh no, she's starting to swing out. Wasn't much, but geez. It's one of those things how far do you go before you have to correct it? Honestly, that's one of those things that, yeah, you're going to have to make that call for yourself. And the sooner that you correct and the less you accept, well, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get what you accept. Now, if you accept the horse moving out that much, well, that's not too bad if this is a mounting block. I could still easily get a leg in a stirrup and swing over. And, come on. Come on. Yeah, good girl. Come on. Oh, she's being difficult. Come on. Come on. All you gotta do is move one ahead, and then I leave it alone. There. Oh. Oh no. Then the back end went out. Now we gotta start over again. And this is why she's getting a little resistant to coming ahead, is because we keep correcting her all the time. So she thinks that moving ahead is getting her in trouble, and not realizing that it's actually the backhand swinging out that's getting her in trouble. There we go. Good girl. A little more. Good girl. A little more. Good girl. Hey, we're making progress. She's not perfect, but yeah, this is pretty good. And this is where it gets really awkward too, because you're in a position where I could very easily mount from this distance with a horse like this, but I'd actually like her a step further forward. So I'm just going to ask her to take a step forward and see if we can get that. I'm going to try to hold a little closer there, because I can't reach that far. My arms aren't that long. Come on. Good girl. Well, that's not exactly what I want, but that's pretty close. But you know, I was working on something. I remember I said I was working on the side pass, and I was working on the side pass towards me. And side passing towards me, I usually use my stick, but just I didn't have it handy. I didn't bring it out with me yesterday, and so I just used my hand, and it actually worked on her. So see if I can get that back end to come over. Come on. Good girl. There we go. Perfect. That's pretty darn close. And something you can do, something else you can do, and now that we got that done, pretty impressed. A little disappointed it took as long as it did, but at the same time, I'm reasonably impressed with how well this is working. So we're going to give her a break, let her rest here, and maybe scratch on her a little bit so that she learns that this is a good place. This is a place she wants to be. She wants to be here. What are you looking at? You see something over there? Anyhow, but I'm going to explain something else you can do in this situation too. Now, right now is probably not a great time to be doing it, but once you get a little better at this, I'm going to repeat this process many times, believe me. We got lucky. This is the first time. Second, third, fourth, fifth time, she might not do this. So we're going to be doing this quite a few more times, I can guarantee it. But one of the things you can do when you're in a position where you're up higher than the horse is start putting weight on them. Now in her case, she's quite young. She's not ready to be ridden yet. So we're going to just press on her with our hands, just a little bit of weight, just to get used to things on her back. Anything, even if it's just my hand. Uh-oh, you moved. I didn't ask you to move. Oh well, there you go. I told you, I'm going to have to do this over and over. Straighten out. Come on, get that bum over. Come on. There we go. Good girl. Oh, get her to step ahead again. She doesn't want to, but she's going to, because that's what we want. And I don't care what she wants. It's what I want that matters. Good girl. There we go. And as long as she stands where she's supposed to, she gets left alone. It's the same principle I use for everything. When the horse is doing the right thing, you leave it alone. There's only one exception to that, but I'll show you that one later. That's when you're teaching them the gaits, which we haven't quite got to that yet. Come on. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. There. Perfect. As long as she stays here, I'm going to leave her alone. But like I said, once you get better at this and you do it a few more times, gust of wind all of a sudden, one of the things you can do in a higher elevation is you start putting pressure on the back. Not a lot. And it, depending on how old the horse is, she's pretty young yet, so we got lots of time to do this stuff. So it's not a big panic to do it, but there we go. Very good. Good little horse. Yes, you are, sweetheart. Well, I hate to do anything because she's being good, but I want to do this again because she needs to learn that if she stands here, I leave her alone. And she's pretty much where I want her. Oh, she moves. Okay, perfect. She moved. She gets to move lots. I control the movements. Here you go. There we go. There. Perfect. Perfect. I didn't want to make her move, but she chose to move, so guess what? She gets to move. Now this time around, oh, she's already swinging out. Right. Get the bum over. There we go. Oh, don't run into the end of it. Go around it. Good girl. There we go. There we go. Good girl. There we go. Step ahead. Come on. Being directly above the head of the horse, be careful. That can be dangerous. If they ever flip their head up, you get nailed with that head. That head's hard, trust me. Always be very careful where you are in proximity to the horse's head so that that doesn't happen. Another step ahead, dear. Another step ahead. One more step. Come on. Come on. One more step. I see that other foot not moving. Come on. There. Perfect. And again, she's right where she's supposed to be. In fact, I think she's actually maybe even a little better than she was the last time. I'm quite happy with that. So you can use these principles, and it's, like I said, anything that you want the horse to do, when it does the right thing, leave it alone. And that's what we're doing. We're leaving her alone, making this a good place where she wants to be. Rub on her, scratch her, stuff like that. And this is all stuff that she's going to enjoy and like and appreciate. Oh, no, I didn't ask you to back up. Take it. I want that foot back forward, dear. There. Uh-oh, back end moved out. Okay, you want to do it all over again. Okay. There we go. Well, in a way, I'm glad that we're having a little bit of problem here so that you understand that, like anything in training, it doesn't always go as planned. And actually, this isn't horrible. I've had problems before. Uh-oh, that tail end's moving out. Take one more step. I'd like to see that other leg you had. There we go. Now we'll leave her alone. Perfect. That's beautiful. Each time she does this, she's a little better, which is not really much of a surprise. Your horse generally does get better no matter what you do every time you do it. You know, like I said, take advantage of the opportunity. Just love on her, brush her, scratch her, rub her, whatever. You know, be nice to her. And then you can also take advantage of the being up higher, and you can start putting pressure on her back. I haven't done this enough. In case you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm squeezing her neck to make her lower her head and create relaxation. There we go. There we go. Oops. This thing isn't exactly, it's got ribs and stuff on it. It's not the best thing for standing on, and when I stumbled a little, it got her concerned too. So, but you'll notice she's still standing where I left her. I'm not even holding on to the lead right now, because this is where she wants to be. Because when she's in the right place, we're nice to her. It's a good place. Yeah, good place, isn't it, sweetheart? Sure. So, anyhow, I think that's about it. We're probably going to have to do this quite a few more times before it gets good, or even reasonable. But I just wanted to show this one to you that, you know, another first, and I knew it would take a little while. It wasn't horrible. Could have taken longer. It didn't go great, but it didn't go horrible. You know, you can kind of expect this sort of thing. It's not going to be perfect the first time you do it, and it may take quite a few tries. You may be at this for quite a bit longer, actually. Don't be surprised. It depends on the horse. I've done it with quite a few different horses, and each one is different. But once they get this stuff figured out, it's pretty good, and then you can incorporate the side pass into it as well, where you just hold your hand up and the horse will come over to the side mounting block for you, and then you stop it. So all these things go together, and actually my own horse over there, I can have her side pass towards me from 100 feet away. That'd be, what is that, 30 meters? I don't know. Yeah, we're metric in Canada, but I'm old enough that I was already well indoctrinated into the imperial system before Canada converted to metric. So to me, it's I'm half metric, half imperial, depending on what it is. Do not ask me how many kilograms I weigh. Couldn't tell you. When it comes to horses, pounds. Set a reefer trailer on, a semi-trailer with a refrigeration unit on it. They're called reefers. always in Fahrenheit, always. I don't know why, and yet the weather forecasts are always in Celsius. I don't understand it. And outdoor temperatures, I kind of understand Celsius more, but when I'm indoors, I understand Fahrenheit. I don't get that. So I'm kind of a little bit confused on that department, but anyhow. This is what you're going to deal with. You might have to do it many times over. Oh, I think she's about to move. I might have to send her off again. So anyhow, if we do, well, in the meantime, you have a great day and go work with your horse a little bit. And I hope you learned something today. Bye now.